Monsters are not merely biological entities, but rather they embody specific cultural anxieties, fears, and desires. In this video, we'll be discussing a monster or kaiju named Jamila from the Tokusatsu series Ultraman. Tokusatsu or special filming is a Japanese term for live-action films or television programs that make heavy use of practical special effects. This technology emerged in the 1960s, and while it may seem outdated compared to CGI today, it still remains its presence in superhero and horror movies. In Japan, the Super Sentai series, Ultraman series, and Kamen Rider series are known as the three great tokusatsu. Super Sentai and their American adaptation version, Power Ranger, might be the most well-known one out of the three outside of Japan. Today we'll be examining the Ultraman series. Ultraman was born in 1966, and the scenario might have gone something like this. We need a hero! How about this 6-foot-tall, awesome-looking white dude who wears his underwear on the outside and he can shoot lasers out of his eyes and fly? Cool, but this is Japan, I don't think he can handle Godzilla. What about this 131-foot-tall alien that can fly and shoot laser beams out of his hand and basically is a god? Hell yeah, that's better. You bet, he's not just Superman, he's Ultraman. So whatever happened in the meeting room, Japanese audience received an imaginative science fiction work in 1966. Ultraman is an alien from space who barely speaks, unconditionally sides with humans, and helps them deal with both alien invaders and Earth's native monsters. As a children's show, typically an Ultraman episode follows 3 stages. Danger arrives. A monster begins attacking humans for some reason. Human responses. The Human Special Forces. In Ultraman, it is a team called Science Special Search Party, SSSP, attempts to fight back but fails. Deus Ex Machina. Ultraman appears and defeats the monster to save the day. You might think this sounds no different from most children's hero show, but Ultraman sometimes add a little depth to this formula. This is Jamila, appearing in the 23rd episode of Ultraman, My Home is Earth. Jamila's entire body is covered in a stone-like cracked integument. The humanoid base structure is clearly visible, but it is significantly elongated, close to the shape of a spacesuit. These features are all associated with Jamila's backstory. As a major international peace conference is about to open in Tokyo, for some reason, accidents keep happening to planes flying to Tokyo. The SSSP Paris HQ sent a specialist to guide the Japanese branch's investigation. After various attempts and efforts, a giant monster is identified as the reason, whom the Paris specialist calls Jamila. After the monster escapes despite SSSP Japan's day-long struggle, the SSSP Japan captain questioned the specialist how did he know the name of the monster and what are the withheld informations. After consideration, the specialist reveals that Jamila was once human. During the space race, a manned satellite sent up by a certain country didn't return due to failure. To avoid public outcry, the government concealed the incident, leaving Jamila alone in space. Jamila miraculously managed to land on a planet and survived, but muted due to the planet's environment, and now returning to Earth for revenge. The specialist indicates that the authorities have decided to treat Jamila as a space monster and eliminate it to ensure the peace conference proceeds smoothly. The next day, the operation begins, with flamethrower proving ineffective against Jamila, while artificial rain showers can't cause damage. Jamila persistently moves towards the national flagpoles of the peace conference plaza, knocking them down. Ultraman appeared and dragged Jamila into ground combat. He shoots water streams at Jamila. Jamila writhes in pain, helplessly reaching for the flag before collapsing in front of the peace conference. SSSP members stand at Jamila's grave, where the epitaph reads, "The soul of a warrior who died for mankind's dream and advancement of science rests here." A team member comments, "It's always like this for the victims, only the words are elegant." The 1960s marked a crucial turning point for Japan's national identity. Japan surrendered unconditionally to the Allied power 15 years ago and announced the post-war constitution. The Constitution Article 9 stated that Japan would not maintain armed force for the purpose of aggression. This wasn't merely a legal framework, but evolved into a deeply held social value that shaped public consciousness throughout the 1960s. The traumatic memories of World War II, particularly the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, became crucial to Japan's collective memory during this period. This historical consciousness reinforced the public aversion to military power and commitment to peace. This was reflected in the popular culture through literature focusing on war experiences and peace themes, and films critiquing militarism and celebrating pacifist values. But war
never changes.
Following the end of World War II, the opposing ideology system between the two superpowers leads to the Cold War. Japan hosted significant US military installations. Its geographical location made it invaluable strategic assets for US military presence in Asia, earning its metaphor of an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Japan found itself in a complex position, trying to balance between walking away from militarism while being positioned as America's unsinkable aircraft carrier in the Pacific. This paradoxical position deeply influenced the popular media, including Tokusatsu series like Ultraman. During the Cold War era, another feature is the rapid development of science and technology. The United States and the Soviet Union both want to prove their institutional superiority. Countless new technologies have been invented, and human beings began to explore space, which has evolved into a space race. The space race emerged as a crucial theater for Cold War competition, deeply intertwined with military and ideological supremacy between the superpowers. Jamila's origin story encapsulates these Cold War features. As a human astronaut transformed into a monster due to a failed space mission, Jamila represents both the danger of the space race and the fear of nuclear mutation that haunted post-war Japan. The character's backstory, being abandoned to a hostile planet during the US-Soviet space competition, reflects what J.J. Cohen describes as how the monster's body is pure culture, embodying the specific fears and the tension of its historical moment. By closely looking at Jamila's physical characteristics, its stone-like cracked skin could suggest the harsh environment of space and the loss of human characteristics. The elongated humanoid form resembling a spacesuit serves as a reminder of its origin. Its fatal weakness to water symbolized how far it has strayed from Earth. Jamila falls into Cohen's description of how monsters embody cultural contradictions. The character simultaneously represents both victim and aggressor, human progress and its costs. He also raises questions about the definition of peace, reflecting Japan's own complicated position in the Cold War landscape, caught between scientific advancement and peace, between American influence and independent identity, and the peace, but with continued presence of the US military in Japan. As Anderson notes in her analysis of Cohen's thesis, culture creates monsters that reflects the fears of their society. Jamila's behavior of attacking the World Peace Conference in Tokyo is deeply symbolic of the struggle against the false peace scene created under nuclear deterrence, the peace built on lies and propaganda. The episode's conclusion at Jamila's grave leads to the thinking, who's the villain here? This question remains unanswered at the end of the episode.